KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger, a public affairs program featuring stories from all over the Central Valley with Sevag Tateosian, 90.7 KFSR.
Welcome to the Central Valley Ledger. We are recording out of the beautiful downtown Fresno studios of the Community Media Access Collaborative, Fresno and Clovis, not too far from the newly opened Fulton Street. If you haven't come out to the Fulton Street, used to be the Fulton Mall, come out and check out the food, the nice places, and in the next year or so, the street's going to look completely different. Today we're going to be talking about dancing, and in particular, salsa dancing with Enchilate Salsa Group. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Good. That's 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
We have Fernando, we have Kelly, we have Sandra, and we have Mag. All 4 of you, welcome to the program.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
So the first time that I saw you all, the group dance, was at an event at St. Paul Church, and you all were teaching couples how to dance. And so when I saw that, I thought, we've never had a salsa group on the program before, so thank you for coming. Tell us about this group.
So Enchilate Salsa Team is a salsa team based here in Fresno. We don't just do salsa, we also do bachata. We've had a cha-cha routine, and we're currently working on one that's kind of in between styles. I would say it's like bachata inspired. So we are about 4 years old, coming up on 5 years. We just like to dance, and so we want to continue our craft and support the community.
So let's go around the room and kind of talk about what got you involved in this group. Fernando, you start, and then we can pass it around.
So, it's been a while now. Kelli, Sandra, and I actually all trained with a group called Prodigy Dance Company that was also based here in Fresno. And our director, Idalia, she ended up moving out of town. She moved to the Bay Area to do her thing over there. And so we wanted to continue. And it was actually a few friends of mine, Kelly included, that said, you should start a team. And at first I didn't want to.
No pressure, right?
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
you should start it.
They wore me down, and so eventually we started, and it just kind of got traction, and it's grown, and it's been amazing. I can't see myself anywhere else.
So, Kelly, tell us a little bit about why you're a part of this group.
Well, since our other director moved, there was no more salsa teams here, and so I encouraged him to start one because he's got a lot of talent. So, he actually convinced me to come back to salsa dancing because I thought I had retired.
Well, welcome back.
Thanks.
Sandra, anything to add?
Same. I wanted to continue dancing, and Ferny's a great teacher, the best you could ever hope for. He's so patient with us.
I didn't tell them to say that.
The best.
The best. And I feel so comfortable and happy in his team. So I also wanted to continue my dance journey, and it's been the best with Ferny, almost 4 years now.
So it sounds like Mag came later on, or have you always been there?
Nope, I'm the newest one.
And tell us what you think.
Well, I just started dancing like 2 years ago, and after the first year, I said, you know what, I think I want to learn some more. And I found out about Ferny's here. So I decided to join a team. I was so nervous. I was like, I had butterflies in my stomach. I was in the parking lot for like 45 minutes, like contemplating, should I go in there or not? But you know what, it was the best decision of last year that I made.
I'm
joining
glad.
his team.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to ask Fernando, and we can all talk about this. People don't want to get up there and not know how to do something. And the salsa, you need to have a little move to you, So what advice would you give somebody who's afraid to join but has the salsa dancer in them?
I would say to try it out, because I've said this to the team before practice, we're here to learn, and we're going to look silly, and we're going to have fun. So it doesn't really matter that we look silly because we're trying and we're doing it to grow. And the same thing for any classes, like the classes that we gave at the event. Same thing, not everybody knew how to dance. We were going through it. We were repeating it, making sure that people understood. And then before you know it, you've made significant progress.
How do you describe salsa? I want each of you to think about this and give us your opinion on how do you describe salsa dancing? Because people out there, and I'm sure you've come across this, think of salsa dancing as different things. So we'll start with you, Fernando.
So salsa dancing, at least here in our community, it is kind of an umbrella term. So you'll get salsa music, you'll get bachata music, cha-cha, some cumbia, merengue. So it's kind of a big, term. And so anytime you go out to a salsa event, you'll get all those styles played. The classes could be salsa, they could be bachata, it could be any one of those. So it is a social dance where people go out to dance with other people. It's very friendly, everyone's super nice, and it's a rather small community, so we see a lot of the same faces. So we are, in a sense, a big family.
Kelli, let's ask you the question about how do you describe if you and I are having a conversation and salsa comes up, and I ask you, I've never danced salsa. What kind of things will you tell me?
I would encourage you to try it out and take as many classes as you can, and from as many instructors as you can, because everybody has a different style of teaching. So and everybody has a different style of learning. So I would encourage you.
Sandra, so in salsa dancing, is it like upper body or is it lower body? I'm dancing, as the radio audience can't see this, but I'm dancing in my chair. I don't mean to make a fool of myself, but tell us, Sandra, is it upper body, lower body? I mean,
everything is incorporated, including your mindset. It's a happy, upbeat type of dancing. I grew up with it. My father's Cuban, so I really relate to the music when I hear it. It just brings me joy and happiness, and I love to move to it. And however you want to move to it, that's great too.
Mag, any input on this?
Salsa, to me, I think it's like a Latin high energy music to me. You get that upbeat music, you just, like you said, I can see your shoulders moving. It's the same way, every time you hear salsa, you start moving, your feet, your shoulders, you just want to move to the beat. That's how I see salsa.
Fernando, when you're getting ready to start the lesson, are there any stretches, or what are you doing to prepare? Because, like if you're an athlete, before you go in, you're going to stretch and do certain moves. Talk about the lesson that you give. How does it start, then where, and then where do you end?
So typically when we start a class, we'll start from the very basics, and we'll do footwork, either facing each other, the leads and the follows, the leaders and the guys and the ladies. And we'll just start from our basic, whether it's the salsa or bachata basic, get the basic out there, do a couple of turns. So that kind of is our warm-up. Since classes are usually between 45 minutes and an hour, we can't do like technique training, different kinds of stretches and stuff like that. So we go with a progression, and then from there we add on different types of turns, and then we apply that stuff to the partner work. So it all kind of connects in that same class from beginning to end.
And you, I understand, are teaching classes on a regular basis.
Yes.
Talk about that. I mean, are you moving, is it, like if I wanted to attend and I'm free on a Wednesday night, can I jump in, or is it more of you're gradually taking people to the next step?
So we have both options. It's funny you mentioned Wednesday nights, because on Wednesday nights, Kelli and I teach a bachata class at the VFW, and that is a drop-in. So with your admission to the event, you can go, we'll teach the class. It's new for everybody, so everyone's kind of on even ground. And we try and cater to all of the levels in the class, from beginning to the more intermediate or advanced dancers. So that's why we have that progression. And then on Monday nights, we do a class that works on the same combination for a month. Not a whole month, but every Monday for a month. So it's either 4 or 5 sessions, and we progress through the combination, the same one.
What's your goal with this organization? I mean, it went from you being a part of an organization to Kelli nudging you and saying, start an organization.
There was a butter knife included in that nudge.
So, like, what is your goal? What are you trying to do with this group?
I'm just trying to see how far it goes. We've been able to perform at various venues. We're regulars at the Reno Latin Dance Festival. We've performed there 3 years with the team. And so just to keep doing what we love and see where it takes us. Because once you are doing something for the sake of doing it, then opportunity knocks. And so we're taking all those opportunities that we can get.
Tell us about who you're performing for. So, like, our audience members is full of like teachers and schools to, people interested in community affairs. So are you willing to go out and like perform?
And spread the love, absolutely, yeah.
I like the way you put that, spread the love. So, like, what is it that you're looking for? If an organization's out there, who's the perfect venue for you, or what's the venue for you to perform in?
That's really hard to pinpoint because, again, we just want to spread the love. All of the salsa dancers come from different walks of life, different careers. We do have a lot of educators. You mentioned teachers. I think it's a stress relief after going through the school day, you know. So any organization that wants to have like a Latin-themed or salsa-themed event would be a good place to go because we can introduce people to something that they can do for the rest of their lives.
Either of you can jump in, and maybe we go around again, but we're going to start with Mag this time. So Mag, prepare, because I'm going to ask the question. Someone who wants to get into salsa dancing, what things could they do now to prepare them for dancing? Is there little things they can do while they're listening to this program?
Well, when I first did it, I took the class, the very basic. I took that for about 6 months on. And once I started doing that, I did a lot of practicing just at home also. So, you learn it in class. You got to be at home practicing. It's easier for me because I work on outside as a mechanic. So I could be turning wrenches at times, and I'd be like, in my mind, I'm outside, so I'm moving. So, I practice outside. So
Let's go to Sandra.
I think listening to the music, you could watch videos. There's tons of videos on YouTube. Ferny and Kelli have a app that you could download. It's called Pocket Bachata, and you can take lessons on their app and learn from there. It's all about wanting to. If you feel the music and you want to, you're gonna get good at it really quick.
Kelli, your turn to give your advice.
I think just practice the basics. If you get your basics down, then everything always comes down to the basics.
Tell us about this app.
So we were invited by a friend to be instructors for the app. He had the idea to make an instructional app for bachata, and that was a ride, very interesting experience. We filmed different lessons, so we have a beginner section, intermediate section, and advanced section.
And is it you all?
It's just me and Kelli.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
It's just me and Kelli, and so you can get the app on iOS or Android. It's free to download, and I think right now it's like $2.99 for 60 instructional videos, and they're all different little clips that we do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there an official affiliation with Fresno State? I thought I saw an affiliation somewhere with Fresno State.
I went to Fresno State, Kelli went to Fresno State, so we are alumni, but they have their own club called Ritmo y Pasión that Enchilate is separate, more of a community group. So you don't have to be a student to join us or come dance with us or anything.
Who can tell us a little bit about the history of salsa dancing? Do we know kind of where it came from? And because in the United States it's popular, but where did it really come from?
Whew.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. We're not historians. Well, I'm not a historian. I know, but it's kind of an amalgam of different dances. So it has, of course, influences from all over Latin America, but it's hard to pinpoint one place. And each place kind of has its own style or its own contribution to the music, to the type of dance. And that's kind of what makes it so versatile, especially now. The music is changing, the dance moves are changing, and you can really incorporate anything you want as long as you have that salsa base or that heartbeat, and it's still salsa and it's still accepted in the community.
Are we a salsa-loving community? I mean, from your experience with salsa dancing and the places that you've performed, the places that you've taught, the people who've come to your class, what do you all think? Are we a salsa-loving place?
I think so. I think when people go to a club and they're playing salsa, they just get up and they want to move to it. And I think people in general love the music.
You know what? I want to ask this question. I was going to ask a little later on, but you mentioned club. So have you all been to like a club, not performing or anything, been to a club kind of hanging out, and then salsa music comes on and you all go out there and just like bust the moves? What has been, yes, because I could, if I'm out in a club and I'm just hanging out and I see like a group just go in there right when salsa comes and they're doing the moves you all are doing, I'm watching because I'm going to be impressed. So tell us about one of the experiences where that happened, and do people kind of just sit back and watch, and what are they saying, if anything?
At Veni Vidi Vici in Tower, I think it's once a month that they have a live band, and so you have the regular bar goers, people just hanging out, and then you have the people who go for the band, and we've been there before. We just kind of start dancing. Everyone, so some people will cheer us on real quick, or they'll watch us, and we just do our thing wherever we can, whenever we can.
How often do you all practice together?
The team practices twice a week, and so from there it's a couple of hours each, and we have our warm-up. It's very classical technique based, and we get into our Latin technique and the choreography.
We didn't talk about a little bit about each one of you. Let's talk a little bit about each one of you, and tell us about yourself. I mean, are you from Fresno originally? Or if not, talk about your background a little bit. We're starting with Sandra first. Tell us about yourself.
I was born in Santa Monica, and I lived in Burbank area, North Hollywood. Then we moved to the Oxnard area. There wasn't much of a scene at the time when I was living there. Then when we moved to Fresno, that's where I found salsa and bachata and everything, and Latin. And I've been dancing for about 16 years now.
So I was born in Glendale, so at some point we were neighbors in our life,
yes.
but we both found ourselves here. But you know what? I'm glad to be here,
Me
by the way.
too.
Mag, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm an auto mechanic, like I said earlier. I've only been doing this for a couple of years, and I love it. To me, I have plenty of time. Now, kids are all grown up, so I have times to do it. So basically, I dance at least 3 times a week, a couple of them with Ferny. I think 3 times with Ferny every week. So, like I said, I enjoy it. I love it. So,
Kelli, time for you to introduce yourself to our audience members.
I've lived in Fresno majority of my life. Mom of 3, and when I do salsa, it just makes me forget about all my problems.
You know what? And we'll let Fernando tell us about himself, but that's what I kind of gather, when you're doing salsa, and that night we were watching you all were in a zone. You were on a mission in a zone. Is that really how it happens? You get in your zone and watch out?
it's just fun, period.
Yeah.
Dancing, it's upbeat. You can tell by the music, and it's relieves stress.
Yeah, big time. No stress there.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself, Fernando.
So I was born and raised here in Fresno. I went to Fresno State for a very long time. And that's actually where I met Idalia, my former director, in a swing dance class. And we were dancing, and she asked me if I had ever done salsa. It was something I'd always wanted to do, but had never actually had the opportunity to. I did folklorico before that. And so I went to check out her team. I wasn't able to join for about a year. And then after that, it was kind of end of story. I trained with her for about 5 years, and that's before she moved to the Bay.
So you all look like you're in great shape. So do you do workouts other than salsa dancing, or is this kind of your way of, not only having fun, but working out? Because I asked that question to athletes, and I asked that question to bodybuilders and stuff like that when they come on the show. So do you all do other workouts other than dance, or is this just the workout?
We do other stuff.
We do.
To me, this is like a cardio workout for me. I was just showing Ferny earlier. You know how many counts it's tracked on my iPhone. On the day that I dance, it's like triple the steps of my normal day. So to me, that's a workout.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
So where can our audience members watch you all next? Or where can we come perform with you? Or where can we come practice with you? Where can we come learn from you?
Yeah, so I will give you our email address in case anybody wants to reach out. But if you're looking for a specific date, mark down April 6th. It's going to be at Studio 65 off of Shields in Maroa. It's our fourth annual social dance fundraiser for the team. We're bringing some out-of-town guests. We've got a gal from Los Angeles who's doing a 2-day workshop for that. And then the night of, we're having teachers from Bakersfield and from the Bay Area. And actually, Idalia, our former director, will be one of those teachers. So it's really cool just to kind of bring people to a central spot and just have fun.
So it's the 4th annual, and you all fundraise. So
Yes.
can people donate to you, and can they help support your cause? I mean, what is it are you raising money for something right now?
So we just have a team fund that will help when we travel to festivals or stuff like that, making costumes, because I believe most, if not all of our costumes have been made or altered. Kelli has done some of that, and we have somebody else who's made dresses for the ladies and stuff like that. But the biggest way to support us is to go out and join us.
So the 4th annual event's coming up. Walk us through the event. I know there'll be out-of-town performers and stuff like that. So walk us through the event and then sell me. So I'm going to be that day. I have nothing on my calendar that day, and it's just going to be my wife and I at home with our kids.
Okay.
Why should we come out to this fundraiser?
Because you're missing out if you don't.
That's a good answer. Very good answer.
It's always a lot of fun. Usually we get about 150 people or so, and so we're hoping to break a record this year for sure. But like any event, the format's kind of the same. After you get there, we have the 2 classes going back to back, and then we have just social dancing. We're going to have, I believe, 3 DJs so far confirmed, and then the performances are going to happen a little later in the night. And then more dancing. We're going to end probably at 1 or 2 in the morning.
Wow, and that's here in Fresno.
Yeah.
Which place?
It's called Studio 65. It's off of Shields and Maroa, right on that little triangle by the tracks.
And which date?
April 6th. It's a
So if
Saturday.
people want to purchase tickets, how do they get tickets?
They can email me. Again, I'll give you my email address, and then we can meet up, or they can go to a class, get some classes in before the event, and just be prepared.
And you respond fast, by the way. Thank you. When I emailed you to be on the show, you were on top of it, which is good. For our audience members listening to this broadcast on KFSR
Yes.
90.7, can you spell out your email address?
Yes. I'll say it first. Enchilate Salsa Team at gmail.com. Are you ready? You have a pen? Okay. It's ENCHILATE, Salsa, SALSA, Team, TEAM, at gmail.com.
So, looking at the future, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you see this organization growing and more people coming and doing it? Or tell us what you see in your crystal ball.
It's kind of foggy, but I've never really used it. When we started the team, like I said, we just wanted to keep dancing. And so we met up, learned some choreography, and then before we knew it, we were performing. And with each new choreography, we try and do something a little bit different. So it always feels fresh, and it always gives us kind of something to strive for. So it's not going to get old. So I'm going to go as long as I can.
And then Reno, you mentioned Reno earlier. Tell us about Reno. So you all went up to Reno and performed?
Yeah, it was really exciting. Like I said, this was our 3rd time that the team performed, but it was our first time taking couples because the last 2 were only ladies routines. So it was kind of a good milestone for us. And we got to teach a workshop. So the Reno Latin Dance Fest is really an international event. We have people from all over going, and teachers teach their workshops during the day. Then there are showcases at night for the performers, and then social dancing until 6 a.m.
Wow.
So you just go all day, all night, all weekend. And so we were really excited to be a part of that, teaching a workshop, and then to get couples on stage for the first time.
So there's 4 of you here. The group is bigger. I know because I watched the group and it was much bigger. Talk about how big the group is and just the number.
So when we went to Reno in January, we took 5 couples, so 10 people. That was our team.
Nice.
And after that, we've opened up for new members for a new choreography. And right now, we are sitting at around 15 or 16.
So you have a Facebook page. I think I'm following you on Facebook because I've seen pictures of you all on Facebook. Tell us about your Facebook page and how to like that page and what people will find on that page.
So on there, you'll find announcements about upcoming events, where you can see us perform, where we're going to be teaching, and that is Enchilate Salsa Team, again, ENCHILATE, Salsa Team. And so if you go like that, you'll get to see how much fun we're having and, realize why you should be out there with
I
us.
will tell you one thing, though. Your Facebook page, you all are having fun.
Oh, yeah.
I see smiles. I see, behind the scenes photos. And I think there was one where you were on a staircase or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, how fun. They're having fun. So, you know what? We're running out of time this week on the program, but I want to help promote your April event.
Thank you.
Give us more information about it again.
For sure. So April 6th, it's a Saturday at Studio 65 off of Shields and Maroa. The doors open at 7 o'clock. Classes start at 7:30. It's $10 pre-sale or $15 at the door. And if you're interested in taking the workshop, that's going to be Friday and Saturday night for $20. So you can email me and I'll send you more details about that.
Nobody's getting rich off of this, I imagine.
No, we do it because we love it. Yeah.
He's saying $10, $15, $20. I'm like, yeah, no one's getting rich off of this. It's, and it's a great workout, right? Like you can burn a lot of calories by doing this, so people can have fun and burn calories. Any final thoughts, anybody? Anybody want to say anything in closing?
Also, it's all ages, so you could take your entire family.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to ask it this time. So, like, it's all ages. So, any advice on what age limit, as far as young kids could come out, or is it just any age?
For our event, it's any age because it's at a dance studio. Some of them are at venues that sell alcohol, so it's 18 and over to dance, 21 and over to drink, of course. But just look into the event that you want to go to, and there are some classes for children, actually, also. I don't know if there are any in town, but I've seen them, and some of those kids get down. Yeah, they're really good. So if you can expose your son or your daughter to something like this, I would definitely recommend it.
And finally, the uniforms or the dresses and the clothing you all wear are so bright and shiny, and I mean, just like it puts a smile on your face because it's just bright. So thank you so much for coming on the program this week. Mag, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Sandra, thank you. Kelly, thank you. And Fernando, thank you very much. I wanted to get it right, and I got it right, so there we go. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and so we wish you well on your event, and good luck dancing.
We'll see you
Thank
there.
you.
We'll see you there.
Come join us.
That's all for this edition of the Central Valley Ledger. Thank you to our audience members listening to this broadcast on KFSR 90.7 FM, and to those watching on the CMAC channels, Comcast 93 and AT&T 99. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast with our guests from Enchilate Salsa team. Enchilate. They have some events coming up. Follow their Facebook page where they have pictures of them having a wonderful time. Thank you to Paul Starcevic, our director for this evening. Thank you to Xavier, our associate producer. That's all for this edition. Tune in next week to a new edition.
KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger every Sunday morning at 11:30. For a complete program schedule, visit kfsr.org.